Top right side, we have ourselves a wonderful, wondrous, when conceivably good Blue Zerg. It is Dragon Phoenix Gamers Dark. In the top left side, we have the red Protoss player. Of course, fighting for the Goodgame Gamers. It is nice. Great gamers go great with games. I think it's a little bit too early for a joke like that, maybe, perhaps. Need to subtle up the mood, the humor strings of everyone first, kind of subtly play it with the, whatever that thing is called, that you use on a violin. Is it just the chord? Is that what you call it, a chord? I don't know. A violin string, perhaps. The emotional humor string. You would call it that, of course. Anyone would. I'm not alone in that. Is it just me, or does it seem quite quiet here? Maybe if we go somewhere where stuff is happening. Like an egg hatching. Oh no, that's okay. A little bit of a scout going on. There is nothing too spectacular, really, to be seen by either of these players. Seems like they're both just kind of going with a fairly standard kind of play. Second gateway here for Nice. A little bit early on. Might be feeling a little bit worried about Dark, just overall, as a player. Or he does really want to try to get some more gateway production going here. A little bit earlier on. Might allow him to get a quick... well, I guess he doesn't really need a quick third base location outside secured, right? Because he does have the third base location here, the pocket base. Very likely to be assaulted by Dark with a Nidus Worm. Third base trying to get that block going, but Dark already had. The third base going on the other place over here. Let me turn up the volume for myself, actually, a little bit. There we go. Things just are gonna slightly develop here, slow and steady. Oracle coming up for Stargate here. That is looking to do some harassment, of course. A Stalker here, pushing out the Overlord might give the idea that there's no Stargate, but Dark's still somewhat preparing for it, isn't he? Look at that, Spore Crawler coming up, 2 queens here at the front. The natural base a little bit exposed right now, but not the most likely target for an air assault anyway. Right, Nice more likely to go past the top side here. Still get spotted by the Overlord as well. Hello, good sir. And after that, of course, well, it's going to be arriving at a Spore Crawler here and a Queen as well. Another Queen just hatching, so a pretty good situation there for Dark to start things off with. 3 queens here on the rotation anchor point, kind of, where the Oracle has to go through, or very far past, are 3 queens as well, ready to intercept that Oracle as at a moment's notice, of course. There they go, already rotating around. Dark just knew, just due to the amount of time that was spent there. His StarCraft senses were tingling. He was like, I haven't seen this Oracle in a while now. It's probably going to be right here, isn't it? It's about the time it takes to walk over there, and well, he was right. So, well done, Dark. Will be Roaches going up against the Blink Stalker with +1 weapon attacks here for Mr. Nice. But with that, we still have a Baneling Nest also being constructed. There is the Roach Warren and a Macro Hatchery. Very, very common to see Dark going for those Macro Hatcheries. He's not afraid to build them up and be like, you know what, guys, it's actually quite nice to have those larvae there. Just so you don't have to overstrain yourself with all the injects. You can, you know, keep your mind preoccupied with other things. You can spread your creep perhaps a little bit more. You can do other things with your attention. There's always other things to do. You don't necessarily have to do one thing or another, right? Anyway, circlings here. It is a good amount of circlings, but that stasis is looking mighty sharp if Dark ever tries to commit into this. The fourth base, I almost wanted to say third base, but that is a fourth base. What are the queens doing here? Is he really this committed to this? It does seem like it. There's only more and more zerglings coming up. He is willing to throw everything at this fourth base to take it all down. And to be fair, it's only a fourth base. It's not the third base. The third base would be a much bigger deal here to take down, but let's see if he can take down the fourth base as well. I guess Nice has been a little bit aggressive on the upkeep there with getting his Nexus out. Slow and steady. Breaking on through the shield batteries here. The Queen's helping out against those Oracles. Really need to try to fire them, but the shield battery is doing a great job keeping everything alive. It's not just shooting the Nexus. It looks like he might be. A little bit concerning seeing so much damage going into that Nexus when there were two Oracles flying around, and those shield batteries were just helping out tremendously. However, Dark still has a lot of units here. He's taken out the fourth base. That is no longer going to be anything to worry about. With the shield batteries there, spending some time dealing with it. Is that the best thing to do right now? Does he have enough to keep pushing through? I don't think he does. I don't think he does. He still made 12 more links. Alright, where does that leave us on the work account? 61 probes versus 63 drones. The fourth base for Dark is available. However, does he really need it? I don't, well, a little bit. Yeah, okay, it's starting to get there. I don't think Nice is that upset with losing that fourth base. It would have been great having it that early on, but I mean, he's getting most of the stuff that he needs, right? Let's check the units lost tab. Quite a couple of sentries lost. Now that is a big deal. If Nice ever had some sort of transition in his mind into Sky Army or some late game Protoss, that might make it more difficult having lost all those sentries. Did he rebuild any of them as well? No, he didn't. So, okay. I guess that means he still has the same amount of energy overall. Without having those force fields available, you might not feel as safe as you would have normally, right? With those force fields available. So maybe that's why, well, Nice is a player that loves the gateway tech, though. He does. He always has. He always has been a massive player of this. I'm pretty sure I've seen Nice play this type of style before. We had the Return of Hero as well, and he had some moderate success with it. He definitely did it. It got me quite all giddy and excited about the gateway play from Protoss, and one of the different approaches that was clear to me was the fact that he was taking other bases very, very quickly. He would not wait around. He would not sit around there on 3 base, try to gear up, trying to get a big gateway army going. No, he would get himself to 4 nexus pretty quickly, and then just explode. So perhaps killing that 4th base, quite nicely calculated maneuver there from Dark to prevent the escalating Protoss boom from happening. It's hard to say though, hard to look into someone else's mind, especially when they're half across the map, the world. I wanted to say map. They're halfway across the real life map. Oh god, I'm a gamer. Alright, here we are. Great Spire coming in. It looks like Dark is just very willing to throw away a little bit of creep. Just tank the damage on that creep. That creep is still way far enough for him to do whatever he needs to with, when it comes to defenses. Needs to bring those queens back, however. Don't want to lose the queens. Oracles Zerglings there still making life difficult. This is a lot of Zerglings. How many are we on? 122. Stable amount. Clearly a stable amount. I mean, when you're up against this many Stalkers, I guess it does alright, doesn't it? Oracles, however, still muddying the waters quite heavily. They're pretty good against those Zerglings. They're targeting roaches. Look at how much they're targeting these roaches and Ravagers. Not even target firing, just like each one hurting a different roach. So not the cleanest engagement there from Nice, I would say, but neither from Dark either. Neither of those players probably really finding what they wanted to find in that situation there. Dark is just taking the entire right side of the map now. He'll be looking to try and take the bottom side as well pretty soon, I imagine. Gold base will be calling his name. Ooh, Nidus Worm. Nidus Worm about to be ready, as we do have an Overlord already in the Proto space. It's a Phoenix giving chase. Does Nice notice. Dark kind of preoccupying Nice here at the other side, and it looks like there might be a little bit of a problem here. No, wait, 3 Zealots. Is that enough 3 Zealots from this point onwards? Looks like it might be. A couple of Zerglings coming out, but that's nowhere near what you need. If those were Lurkers or something, but he doesn't have Lurk attack. Maybe an Infel Ultralisk. Ultralisk would have worked. 3 Ultras coming out. Ooh. No way, a couple of Zealot warping in will be able to defend against that. You need to bring back a couple of Stalkers, try to work with your infrastructure there, and then... Oh man. I just swim on the bottom. Messing around, Overlords on the bottom side as well, trying to find out when exactly the bases are being taken here by Nice. How many Oracles is this now? 8 Oracles. All of which giving chase to the Zerglings. And there we go. Activate the laser beams and look at that field of red. I guess this is a difficult thing about the Oracles. You don't really want to target fire with 8 Oracles into Zerglings, right? That's a no-go. So you do need to kind of just have them attack whatever they feel like they need to attack. And well, if there's roaches there as well, it's hard. It's incredibly difficult actually in that fight to get the Oracles to target what you would want them, isn't it? Six Broodlords now on the fields. They are ever so close to this ball of Stalkers, however. Oh, I think there was a moment there. A potential moment. At Nice ran those Stalkers perfectly where they needed to be. While just blinking right underneath those Broodlords, maybe he would have been able to catch quite a couple of them. However, there were Infestors there, so there's the potential to just lose everything as well. Anyway, this is starting to get exciting now. Those Stalkers, they're not going to be able to do much on their own, especially against this amount of Banelings. He needs to start blinking them away, but not in such a fashion that they're all on top of one another. Now the Broodlords going uncontested. We're seeing an air army transition in the works here for Nice, but it is too far away. He's got a fair bank, so another warping is going to allow him another wave of Stalkers here, maybe to save the day with. However, base in the bottom left now dying. Well, getting destroyed, as they say with buildings. 5 Tempest at a time. Look at that. Look at that. That is so much stuff. He is on the verge of becoming a very formidable Protoss opponent. And, well, Dark is just not going to let him. Dark is just not going to let him. Just 6 Broodlords. Very often we would have a Zerg try to get a couple more before they start acting aggressive, right? They'll trade out their Zergling Roach army a bit more so they can really get to that late game attack, but normally I would say that's a great choice, but here man, this just hit perfectly. This really was a very nice timing, exactly when he needed it to have happened. With those 5 Tempests coming out now. I mean, if those 5 Tempests were there already, this base would have been saved. Those Stalkers would have maybe been able, you know, another warp in here. Maybe you managed to get a little bit of safety there as well. But instead, right, 2 bases full, nice, go down. And he's losing his army again. Still a lot of gas in the tank, however. 4 Nice might be able to get a couple of Archons out. Archons okay against the Zerglings. Okay against the Broodlings. Not that great at getting on top of the Broodlords. However, we may have ourselves some Tempest for that, right? So, do we have a Templar Archives? Yes, we do, as we see Archons and High Templar being morphed. Lovely, lovely, lovely. He will have Storm, right? He does have Storm. Okay, yeah, Storm is available. It's going to be big against those Corruptors, as well as the Zerglings, as well as the Queens and even Infestors if you manage to land your feedback. But that's where we get into the, you know, perfect Protoss play, like absolutely perfect Protoss play. If that all of that happens, probably not. You're kidding. You're kidding. He just has a Nidus Worm filled with Queens ready to pop out. Just had that ready. Just like, my goodness. There we are. We have arrived at game number 2, Inside and Out. Bottom left side, we have a blue Zerg. Fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gamers, it is Dark. Top right side, his opponent, it's the red Protoss fighting for the Goodgame Gamers. It is Nice. Earthquake. No, it's gotta enjoy the little things, fellas. Am I right? Am I right? That's right. You guys can't disagree. Well, you could, but I'll just disagree right back at you again. There's the probe. We've been expecting you, good sir. We hope you bring gifts. Gifts of the Nexus. Look down. Couple of blue balls, as you expect from the Protoss. Blue tumors from the Zerg, of course. I guess that, you know, it's a preference, what you prefer. Ooh. Come on, lads, get him. Oh, nah, they're just gonna go for the scout. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Trying to stop that Stalker here as well, I suppose. Stalker realizes, you know what, let's go chase after these Zerglings. We might get a kill there. Another Stargate being made. This map might be a little bit more difficult for Nice to have that gateway explosion, of course. I'm pretty sure he's still going to attempt it. But it's definitely going to be difficult here in a map where you don't have that pocket third base, right? Or at least a little bit more difficult. Then again, that being said, I've seen Nice do it on maps worse for it than this one, so... and still coming out on top. Maybe that wasn't against Dark, but it was against some pretty tough opponents still. Either it may have been Solar, or it may have been... May have been Sue back in the day. Trying to think back. May have been Rogue as well. Wow. Secretly kind of hoping to see some of that spark here reignited in Nice's StarCraft play. As will we have another one of those big assault waves here from Mr. Dark. We're only on 4 queens so far, but 14 lings and quite a few roaches are being built. Now that could just be because he is up against the Protoss player. Still on 2 base, no 3rd base yet trying to be taken. So maybe Dark's alarm bells are ringing a little bit. However, there is that probe moving out with the Stalkers. Let's see what the next follow-up will be here for Dark. Is he going to go back into drones? Is he going to try to make more Zerglings to just deny that 3rd base straight up? I think it's going to be just that. Okay, so it does appear to me, like the way that Dark just kind of approaches this right now. He makes a unit composition that's going to be able to either just defend straight up against that Blaze or some sort of an earlier type of attack from the Protoss. And if that attack doesn't come, he just expands upon that unit set. And he makes it a fist of fury to go across the map with. Now, he hasn't quite gotten the 3rd base yet, and that is definitely still going to be his objectives. The Oracle, the 2 of them, pretty much out of energy. Your 3rd one is on the way, but that's... oh, wait, he had 4 of them all out of energy. Ugh. 4 out of energy Oracles. Now, that... well, it seems like that shouldn't have happened. Alright, quick introduction. Bottom left side, the Blue Zerg. Dark. From Dragons, and a Phoenix, and the Gamers. And from the Good, and the Gamers. And all the games. It's the Red Protoss player. It is Nice. Well, Mr. Dark. Looks like you have had your fill of this best of 5 here. Quite the early spawning pool, but no extractors being taken, no gas, so... perhaps this is just for safety. Perhaps he is anticipating, you know what, I'm doing rather well. Perhaps Nice is going to get desperate and try something sneaky here. So he is dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's, trying to ensure that he's not going to go down to some wild strategy like that. Also, he's making six Zerglings still, and he's getting this drone across the field. Which doesn't... okay, it is a scouting drone, right? But he is also going to put down a hatchery here, I imagine. Okay, now this is rather aggressive. This is rather aggressive. It's going to be quite difficult for Nice to get a good block of going here, because there's a gap over here, there's the gap here. And this is just a mess to try and fix, right? You could try to put something down here, but then sometimes stuff still moves through here. Okay, Zealots. Actually, that Zealot might already be in a good choke. That might be sufficient. Have Dark put that hatchery just 1 square too far to the left. Then you could just block it off with a pylon. Micro wars ensue. How is he making more Zerglings with all of this going on? How is he so brave? Zealots. Sending the Zerglings through there. Unfortunately, 5 of them do manage to get on top of these probes in the main base, but they're low HP. Not looking like they'll be able to get a lot accomplished. And that hatchery, I mean, that is incredibly low now as well. Behind this, yeah, there we go. Back onto the drones right now. The hatchery is cancelled. The infrastructure of Nice is an absolute disorganized mess right now. There's a couple of Zerglings here trying to get the Zealots in the main... well, not the main part of the map, and the main base Zerglings. Trying to get themselves back together with the rest of the Zerglings here. On top of a adapt, not quite the place where you want to take that fight. But realizes, yeah, he's going to lose these units here. Now he's on 15 workers versus 19. And there's 3 adepts coming in with a zealot there as well to boot. 2 little zerglings hoping to buy some time over here, and it does cause the zealot to start running back. Overall success, right? That's an investment of 50 minerals now, causing a 100 mineral investment to move back. So that's a victory there, small one. But he may need more. He may need more. Okay, adepts so far not getting any action going. Don't want to take the fight there with the queens and the zerglings all on top of one another. Just sending in 2 of those shades. Alright, interesting, interesting. Just wants to know what Dark is up to, it seems. Very hesitant to try and use these adepts aggressively. And I mean, if he manages to get a couple more drone kills here, that would be humongous. If he just had, like, TP'd right on top of here and just gotten as many drones as he would, you know, could have, I think that would have been great. Just because of the situation Dark is in. 23 workers still. It's such a low worker count. Any single more drone killed is going to be such a boon for the Protoss here. And this should be, right, a pretty much dominating position here for Nice. And if this was any other Zerg than Dark, I would start to really doubt the chances here of the Zerg player. But it being Dark, perhaps there might still be a way. If anyone can figure out how to do it, it's going to be this little clever bugger right here. Look at that. Even already struggling with his drone count. Look at what he's doing. He's making more Zerglings. Look at the sheer volume of them as well. Gotta say, I really do enjoy the decision making from Dark with these types of things, right? If you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to do it in a way where it does get results. He has to get results. If he doesn't, well, that would be just abysmal. It's just gonna put him even further behind, right? So why not just try get every single thing going here for you that you can for this one plan, rather than putting more eggs in more baskets. Losing in the long haul. More sentries everywhere, making quite a bit of a hassle here with the force field, but there is a pylon that is in front of the wall, leaving a little bit of a gap. Zerglings now in the main base, trying to get those probe kills. They're trying. Zealots inside of the probes there, trying to help out as well, but that is a bit of roughhousing right there that you do not want to be a part of as our probe. And now 4 banelings are intermixed as well. Look at that banelings coming, they're coming. Ooh, that was close. Oh, that banelings being a little bit indecisive there, and I don't think he's gotten as many probes as he could have. It's still a little bit up in the air. 10 probes have gone down, but Dark needs more than that. He needs more than that. 6 more Zerglings in production. The rest of them already here across the field. 25, 22. It's dropping quick. It's dropping drastically. A lot of those Zerglings busy with the probe, and that's it. GG is called. Nice. Takes game number 3. Oh. Anyway, enough of my shortcomings. Let's see what is happening here with the game overall. Pretty standard, isn't it? Pretty standard. Which has me worried. I feel like the more it takes Dark to get aggressive, the longer it takes, the better off he's gonna be. Against someone like Nice. Because Nice is a person forged in the fires of the Taiwanese cheese, right? It's like NA over there. But, you know, Asian style, so it's probably better. Where's this for? Ah, there it is. Knew there was a Void Ray being produced, I just didn't quite know exactly where, but there it is. Void Ray looking to annihilate any type of scouting happening. A third base as well being plopped into the ground there for Mr. Nice. As Dark is going once more for the Roadshorn, the Spore Crawlers here. Yeah, I would really not be too surprised if we're going to see the exact same thing from here. It's probably going to go up to like 42 something drones and make a couple of Zerglings, make a couple of Roaches. Ensure his safety in case there is a 2-base something going on. And then, well, once he figures out that there isn't, he's going to start running across the map here, right? There's the Overlords, the 4 Overlords, making ready for with his supply cap for the Roaches. There they go. Sees the third base. This is where it really interests me, right? How hard is he going to commit to this now? Because it seems to be just like a staple in his plan right now. And there we go. Yep, more Zerglings coming up for that third base. He will not let that Protoss player have that third base for free. With just Zerglings, it's very difficult to make this work. But even with the introduction of just a couple of those Roaches here, there's a lot of a bigger opportunity, right? Because a Zealot placed like this, you can target down with a couple of Roaches. The Ravagers can throw their Biles on top of this, or even over here to hit the Nexus, the Pylon, and the Shoot Battery all at the same time. It's something you desperately need. And with Nice going for a quick Tempest play here, this third base, it's gonna just have to be just forgotten about, really. Oh, and there's the Queens. Oh my god, he brought the Queens. How many queens are we on? 6 queens in total, and he brought 5 of them. No, wait, he brought 6 of them. He brought all his queens. There's not a single queen left back at home. He didn't even make one of those gold, the macro hatchery. It's just nothing of the sorts. This is a lot more committed than I thought it might be. Now he knows there's Tempest involved. He's just like, what are you doing? A little bit hesitant with pushing on forwards here, as there is a Tempest shooting away at him from afar. Another Tempest about to join in. Could be a difficult situation here. And, you know, a Nice holds off his fortress on 2 bases. Dark allowed to go nilly-willy everywhere he wants to in the entire map. Queens in the center now. A very awkward battle here with the Tempest. They can't transfuse themselves until they get on the creep. Just barely reaching that creep in time. Third base still a hassle here for Nice. Still just on a 2 base, but as long as Dark is on 3 base, that might be okay. Might be okay. He just needs to make sure that he's trading efficiently, and what's more efficient than a couple of Tempests? Up until the point where he has that spy completed. Dark, very difficult for him to try. Oh, with Dropper Lords, sure. I mean, if you're gonna use Dropper Lords, he's gonna transfuse that. Yes, he is. This squadron, look at this squadron. It's still getting work done. It's still not allowing Nice to just take this base. Oh, sorry. Get out of here. You're too good. He's like, you know what? War Prison Micro, I can do that. We can. Zerg has the technology. Why don't we utilize it? And here you go. Isn't this something? It's like the moment as well when he realizes, oh, I'm up against Tempest. That's when he gets those 2 Overlords upgraded back at home. That's really cool. Look at him go. My goodness. You're joking, though. You're joking. What in the world is happening here? That was so sick! That was so sick! Now he has Corruptus! What can you do against this man? Can anyone decipher how to beat him? My goodness, that was so sick! Does he have enough Corruptus now with the Air Force? He still has 8 queens remaining. Somehow during all of that, he only lost 4 queens and 1 Overlord in that entire engagement. One Void Ray there, very unfortunately getting targeted down. He desperately would like to have those Void Rays here against the Corruptors. The Corruptors coming in from the back, right on top of those Tempest. Now need to target down the Void Ray as they have that prismatic alignment. This is just nowhere near what you need as the Protoss. No, sir. No, sir. Oh, man. Oh, that was brutal. Dark, 3-1. Well played.